For example, let's say find the interval and phase shift for y equals -3 tangent of 2x. Okay, so you have y equals, remember, oh, did I put absolute value on that last one? I guess we just leave it as a. Absolute value of a tangent of x minus b. Okay, so once again, we don't have anything there. So we want to get it to match two x minus, or actually you don't even have to put the 0 there if you don't want to. Because by it being just 2x, you could just factor the 2 right out and make it x minus 0. So that may actually be a little bit easier. A little less confusing. So 2 times x. So all we did here was factor out the 2. Which gives us y equals -3 tangent of 2 x minus 0. Okay, so we know our interval, which is negative pi over 2k to pi over 2k. Here, our k is equal to 2. Actually, let me write that here. So k is equal to 2, and b is equal to 0. So negative pi over 2 times 2 to pi over 2 times 2. So it goes from negative pi over 4 to pi over 4. Okay. Now our phase shift, which we already know, is 0. So it didn't shift left and didn't shift right. All right. Any questions on this one? All right. So we'll do one for cotangent, and then we'll call it a day. We'll do secant and cosecant next class. Oh, was anyone still writing? Sorry about that. All right. Okay, so let's say, for example, find the period interval, well, actually just the period and the phase shift for this one. For, let's say y equals 2 cotangent of x over 3. All right, so for this one, y equals a cotangent of k, x minus b. That's the formula you want it to match up to. Okay, so that gives us y equals 2 times cotangent. We can actually just factor out that 1/3. And instead of x, make it x minus 0. Okay, so that means that your k is equal to 1/3, and your phase shift b is equal to 0. Your a is equal to 2, but you don't really need it. Okay, so if we want to find our period, remember for cotangent, it's 0 to pi over k. Okay, which equals 0 to 1/3 over, well, pi over 1/3, which is 0 to 3 pi. And we already know our phase shift here is equal to 0. Okay. So if we were to graph this one, just kind of compare it really quick to the regular cotangent of x. Okay, so we know our regular cotangent of x is between 0 and pi. Remember, pi is your vertical asymptote. Remember, it looks kind of like that. That's just cotangent of x. Now this graph actually goes from 0 to 3 pi. So it stretches a bit more. Okay, it looks the same, it's just stretched out a bit. And didn't shift, only because it's 0 for phase shift. So the 0 is still a 0, but it stretches out. All right, so any questions on that one? Actually, that should be a little lower, but... All right, so we'll do secant and cosecant next time. Let me make sure I make a note so I extend the homework.